Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for your Kandypens Prism Plus Dab of the Day. Hello, everybody. As always, if you find today's video enjoyable, helpful, join the family with the subscribe button, send a like, and I respond to all comments. Let's get started with today's topic. It is Sunday. How many of you out there have been sad? How many of you out there are sad a lot? How many of you out there could qualify as being sad all the time? Well, we got to talk about ways not to be. Here we go. Well, sadness is a feeling brought about by a lot of different causes. It's described to be the opposite of happiness. Apart from being a form of human emotion, sadness can also be a choice, just the same way as being happy. There are ways in which we can avoid finding ourselves in a state of sadness, despite being exposed to various environmental things and triggers that make that feeling. Shying away from sadness has a lot of perks that not everyone can see. Knowing how to avoid it not only keeps us from feeling down, but also may prevent us from attracting other negative thoughts and emotions that may even lead to more complex situations, including anxiety and depression. So if we're looking for ways not to be sad, here are a few we can talk about. Get out. Going out is one of the best remedies to sadness because it does many things to us. It keeps us preoccupied with the sights and sounds while we're out. Maybe it's a tourist destination, just a walk in the park, doesn't matter. It keeps us moving physically. And physical movement boosts the release of endorphins, known as hormones, that make people feel happy. So after some time of physical movement and the satisfaction brought by seeing a lot of sights that are not often within your reach, you might find yourself no longer feeling sad. You might even forget what actually caused the sadness prior to going out. Spend time with people you love as much as possible. The best therapy for sadness is love. Loving and being loved. These may be your family or your friends who you consider to be your support group. Tell them what's making you down so that they'll understand what you're going through and give you the kind of assurance that you specifically need to help lighten your burden. Their support can strengthen your will to overcome whatever you're going through. And knowing that you're loved and being surrounded by people that care for you is going to make you feel even more secure. A support group would be an excellent way to do it if you didn't have friends and loved ones nearby. Doing things to make others feel your love can revive your sense of purpose. Even simple things like giving them a cup of coffee or making somebody breakfast. This will make you feel better as you realize that not only do you live for yourself, but when you're down, the people who love you are also affected. And if you love them, you won't want them to suffer because of you, correct? So you'll do your very best to be back on your feet, not just for yourself, but for them. You all know Sugar Magnolia. Pets. I can't say enough about loving pets and loving pets. They're incredible companions. Even scientific studies show that they brighten up a totally dark day just by having one in your home. Pets can keep you preoccupied. They can lead you to see simple joys because they'll stay by your side in times you feel lonely. Even a bird, even a chameleon, even a mouse. Something. Join a club. That's right. Online, virtual, doesn't matter. And some of the best ways to keep yourself from being sad is if you have a sweet tooth, grab something sweet, believe it or not. Chocolate is in fact the number one comfort food. I'm not telling people what to eat, but believe it or not, it releases happy hormones into the body. We're all health conscious, fat, diabetes, things like that, with all kinds of amounts of chocolate, but a minimal amount of chocolate may help you more than it would ever hurt you. Think about it. Read a book. Read a magazine. Read anything. It cures the blues. It really helps. I don't have the ability to focus and concentrate too well, but many of you do. I really strongly suggest that reading helps to relax, and it even can give you life lessons depending on what you read. This is not meant to tell people to do things like clean the house, but maybe find something interesting to do in your house. Blocking sadness can also be done by keeping yourself busy. It works best, especially when you're sad but don't want to be with anybody or go out at that moment. Taking on a household chore really is some type of meditation. And as you become involved and really immersed, absorbed in your task, you're not feeling so sad. So doing chores, believe it or not, helps develop a sense of achievement once they're completed. And having achieved something, believe it or not, makes you smile, even in the face of sadness. What if you learned a new skill? That's right. Aside from doing chores, what if you learned a new thing, a way to cook something new, paint, a musical thing, anything that triggers your passion? Because learning a skill allows our mind to be preoccupied, and it becomes focused on something productive. And as we learn, we even further step away from our despair that we might have been previously experiencing. Make sure we sleep enough. That's critical. Try to be as physically active as you can, because it reduces your feeling of being alone because you're out seeing things, and also it produces more endorphin, which is associated with pain relief and pleasure. Be careful if you have issues like I do, physical pain, when you do more, make sure you don't do too much. So, how about paint your room? I'm not kidding. Paint your room bright color. Put up a bright poster. Open your window so you can see outside on a sunny day. That really helps. If you are scattered all over the place in your house or wherever you live, try to get a little bit more organized. You know, a messy mind can contribute to depression. So if your room or your office or your house is chaotic and cluttered, it might cause frustration. And as you see the mix-ups, you're going to feel that many things should have been done and you didn't do them. So it might create a feeling of incompetence and irresponsibility, even guilt. And sometimes the feeling's not even felt immediately until later on. So it's really a suggestion, strong suggestion, to declutter your environment so that if you're busy now and it's cluttered, you might not see it, but if you're not busy and there's a time of stress or depression or sadness, you may focus on all those things and say, oh my God, look what I never did. It's just a way to give your mind a boost. How about a hobby? I'm not kidding. Instead of thinking about our problems and failures, maybe we do something in our vacant time. Maybe we find a hobby that can preoccupy our mind. It can be any hobby you can think of. How about laughing? Laughter truly is an incredible medicine. There's truth to it, because if your problem is sadness, there are ways to find laughter, even laughter therapy, TV shows, friends that are funny. You see, it's critical that you move to a place in your mind where you're thinking happier thoughts, even in your sleep, dreaming happy dreams. These are critical to move yourself out of your sadness, because this is all about nourishing our spirit. Many sad people have recovered not because of a supreme being or their feeling about something holy, but simply because they've decided that feeling sad is normal, but it can be managed. And even if it can be kept to a minimum, you're still going to use the word sad. But you're left to decide how you want to manage that. Do you want it to linger and turn into a world of sadness in your heart and mind? Or can you find ways to let it go, minimize it, and be happy and optimistic about what life's got in store? You see, we have ways to move past all this by setting goals, getting sleep, and really forgiving ourselves. Forgiving ourselves is critical when you're feeling sad, because many people feel sad for things that they can't control. And you know the old saying, only worry about the things that you can control. Don't worry about the things that you can't. Sometimes being sad might not be in your control. Sometimes it just might be what's happening. The emotion, it takes you. But you don't have to be sad a long time. This is the Real Senior Stoner with the Kandypens Prism Plus, and we're going to take our portable dab right now. Cheers, everybody, and have a wonderful day. You know what to do if you enjoyed today's video. Have a great one. Let's find ways to tackle the sadness when it happens. Cheers. And thanks again for joining the Real Senior Stoner. Cheers.